Hey peeps, we are back. We are talking the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 11, episode 10. Before we get into the show, I just want to say I'm sorry for the lateness of these posts. I don't know what's going on with me this week, but I have been extremely fatigued this week and suffering from major headaches. I don't know what it is. It could just be stress from work. It has been an extremely busy last week or so. I actually just watched The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and The Real Housewives of New York today, and it's Thursday. I mean, it has been that kind of week. So thank you for your patience, and let's get on to the show. So at the very beginning of the episode, all the ladies are packing up. They're headed to Palm Springs. They're going to go to Kyle's La Quinta house, which is absolutely gorgeous, and I love it on the seasons when they go to her Palm Springs home. One thing that I thought was really funny is while they were packing, Dorit's son Jagger says, "You're only going to be gone for 2 days. Why do you have so much stuff?" And I said, well, there's something. I mean, even a 6-year-old knows that you don't need 6 suitcases for a 2-day trip. And she says, well, you just want to have a lot of options. I could pack 3 options and still not need that many suitcases. I'm just saying. We also see that Erika has closed her office. She calls it her clubhouse. You know, that beautiful studio that she had and she was using as her studio / business offices / extra closet / hangout spot / photo studio. Well, she has had to give it up due to her allegedly living on her own and supporting herself. She is now unable to afford that expense. And I think that is a good idea for her to give up that studio. And I realize that had to be painful, but at the same time, when I think about the pain of her losing that beautiful studio versus the pain of the people from the plane crash and the pipeline explosion, it doesn't quite compare. Does that mean? Do you see what I'm saying with that? So the ladies all head down to Kyle's place in Palm Springs. She calls it the La Quinta house. And some of the ladies are actually staying at Kyle's. The other ladies are staying at the La Quinta Hotel and Resort, the place where The Bachelorette was filmed last season, Tasia and Claire's season. After watching and covering the entire season at the La Quinta, I would rather stay at Kyle's house. But anyway, it turns out that Erika and Crystal and I believe Garcelle are staying at the La Quinta Hotel, and all the rest of the girls are staying at Kyle's. Now listen, Kathy shows up. She drove herself. And you know she is not used to doing that. And she mentions it. She has never driven herself anywhere for 2 hours. When she says her knees are hurting, she's just not used to it. Kathy is used to having people drive her around and she sits comfortably in the back seat. Whew, I would love to live that life for just about a week. Can I have a week of having a chauffeur? I would appreciate it. I want to sit in the back and I want you to be quiet while I'm back here. I want to put in my AirPods and, relax, okay, in the back seat. But anyway, when Kathy gets there, she has this huge candle for Kyle. This candle was gorgeous. And I would love that. I would love a huge candle like that. She also asked if Kyle has anybody to come and carry her luggage.
Man here that can help because some of it's heavy.
I don't have help here. Did you bring a houseman? Sorry, Kathy, that this is not the Waldorf Astoria, but no, I don't have a bellman.
And Kyle says, no, this is my home. I don't have a bellman. She think this is the Waldorf Astoria? So Kyle and Dorit are helping Kathy bring her stuff in. Meanwhile, Dorit's driver is bringing all of her bags in. These women are a mess. Lisa Rinna, she said, no ma'am, I am not about to act as if I was always rich. She goes out and grabs her own bags. I said, thank you, Lisa. When Crystal got there, we find out that her and Sutton have texted a little bit and things seem to be better between the two of them. However, Crystal is still happy about staying at the hotel. She doesn't want to press her luck when it comes to her and Sutton's friendship, and I think that's a good idea. But it was nice to see the both of them getting along. They're all sitting around in the kitchen because Erika hasn't gotten there yet, and Garcelle can't come to the next day because she has to film the reel. And they're talking about the court case. So at this time, it's the beginning of the case, and it's right when the courts froze Tom's assets because they said that he misappropriated $2 million of the Lions plane crash victims' money. Well, since then, things have changed, and that number has gone all the way up. Now, I have not checked the numbers recently, but the last I checked, it was allegedly $11 million. Now that could have gone up or could have changed. I have no idea, but that's the last I heard, and it's alleged, but that's a lot of money. Dorit says how disturbing this is and how painful this is for, Erika to be going through this. And I said, well, imagine how disturbed and how painful it is for the victims of the airline and the victims of the pipeline explosion.
Disturbing part of it is the $2 million that was supposed to go to the orphans and the victims of the plane crash.
Okay, I think it's a little more disturbing for those people.
I, for once, absolutely agree with Lisa Rinna.
So when Erika does get to Kyle's house, everyone is lavishing love upon her, hugs, and we're here for you, we love you. I was waiting for someone to pull out the tiny violin, but they didn't. So I was disappointed. But anyway, they were showing her all kinds of love.
It's not okay, and it's not going to be okay for a long time. I'm actually, in some ways, very relieved. His attorney said that she feels that he is not mentally well. This is something that I have said. I tried and I tried. I'm getting dragged into all of this.
Yeah, I know.
Why is that, though? They do that if you're married.
Well, you're
They just do it.
Okay, so I agree with Kathy when she makes the statement that sometimes in a marriage you don't know what your spouse is doing. I agree with that. You don't. There are some times in some marriages where your spouse is an absolute grimy person and you have no idea what he or she is doing in the background. And I also understand what Kathy was saying when she said if her husband, who she loves and trusts, slides some papers to her and tells her to sign them, she's just going to sign them because she trusts him and she believes him. I agree. I have seen both sides. I've seen a couple who, the husband wanted the wife to sign these forms and she just took the forms and signed them. But I've also seen a married couple who the husband wanted the wife to sign some forms and she said, I'm gonna need to read these first. Okay, it is not because she didn't love him. She just wanted to double check. And I think and I hope that when the time comes when I am a wife, that if anything like that goes down, that I can be the wife that says, wait a minute, let me get a gander at these papers. What am I signing? I truly, truly like Erika. I've always liked Erika. Every season that I've covered, I've always been Team Erika. I've always loved her rags to riches story because it reminds me of one of my favorite movies, Pretty Woman. To me, she was the real life Pretty Woman, and I always wanted to root for Erika. But as more information comes out regarding this case, I just find it hard to believe that Erika did not know anything. And I'm not saying that she knew every integral piece of what was happening. I'm just saying I find it hard to believe that this street savvy woman did not realize that something was wrong. She didn't have any red flags. There was no light bulb moment that something is not quite right. I'm just not buying it. Sutton talks to Erika and tries to let Erika know that when her father passed, it was a couple of days before Christmas, and he committed suicide. she was saying that she was absolutely devastated. It was the first day of her mother's retirement and she was in the home when he took his own life, and that she had just had a new baby. And she's letting Erika know that if she can get through something as traumatic as that, Erika can get past this. And I thought that was really sweet of Sutton to share that information, and it had to be extremely painful for Sutton to talk about it. I just think that she was really doing her best to try to cheer Erika up and cheer her on and let her know that this too shall pass. But then they showed a little clip of her and her mom.
And don't you miss him? Like a little?
You can't expect me to feel about him as you do. It was my marriage to him, not your marriage to him. And my relation to him was totally different from yours. I don't know what else you want me to say.
It would be nice to know that you missed him.
I don't miss him.
Listen, honey, I don't think that her mom and dad had a relationship that she thought they had. Her mom says that she doesn't miss him. Something tells me that she wasn't happy in that marriage. I mean, my gosh, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, moving on. So Kathy and Kyle are too cute. Kathy and that bread.
No, I can't. Kathy, I peed my pants. Stop. Oh.
It's always good to laugh.
I said, ma'am, somebody could chip a tooth on that bread. I was very happy to see that Kyle alerted the girls, don't try to eat this bread. I mean, oh my gosh. Then Kathy was trying to take her suitcase up the steps. She would go up one at a time and then hit the step with the suitcase. Up to the next step, then hit the step with the suitcase. I mean, it was ridiculous. Dorit ends up helping her to her room with her luggage and fanning her a little bit with the fan. Dorit said she is not used to doing any of this stuff on her own. I said, Kathy and her rich people problems. Girl. Kathy in that kitchen, girl. Listen, the Dustbuster came out in 1979. That was the original Black & Decker Dirt Buster. She is hilarious. I have no idea what she thought she was doing with that barbecue grill cleaning brush. Go sit down somewhere, girl. Erika talking to Lisa about how expensive it is to heat her pool at her new place, and how she didn't realize how expensive it was to heat the pool at her place for 20 years with Tom. But now that she's got to pay the bill, she turned the heat off. I said, well, shoot, that sounds like me on a regular basis. Every day on my way out to work, I'm going through the house turning off every light switch I can find because my son thinks that electric is free, I guess. I mean, no ma'am, no ma'am. I turn everything off. Let me tell you, at some point I seen somewhere where it says that you should unplug things. But I'm too lazy for that. I'm too lazy to go around the house unplugging everything. I can't.
I just got a text from my daughter saying, Mom, Drake follows Lisa Rinna, up your game.
Does she really?
That's a big one.
That's a hot moment, honey.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know Drake followed me. His name is like Champagne Pappy or
That's
something.
Champagne Pappy. I
How
follow
would you
Champagne
know
Pappy.
who the Champagne Pappy is?
Poppy.
This is not something obscure. I mean, this is like mainstream pop culture. Like, I would die if Champagne Pappy was following me.
No, I think that is absolutely hilarious. I have no idea. Why would Drake be following Lisa Rinna? Do you think he watches the Housewives? I don't know, but I thought that was real cute.
Last time I saw Tom was at their house. He seemed very charming, very with it.
How many years have you studied law?
I will take the Fifth Amendment.
He seemed fine. But now hearing that, I mean, maybe there was something going on. I didn't think about it at the time.
I think that she didn't think anything was going on because there wasn't anything going on. We all saw that episode. Tom was on it. Tom seemed absolutely fine. I think that all of this just happened to come about. All of a sudden, this case came about, and now all of a sudden he can't hear, see, or remember. It just seems scripted. Did it seem scripted? Did she seem to be acting a little?
Called you, and I said Tom's had a car accident, which is true. But I just didn't tell you the rest of it. As a result of the crash, his ankle was...
Right. Got it.
He was also unconscious for 12 hours, but no one...
He was? That's not good.
I know, because I found it.
It's unbelievable because at the time, I remember thinking, he's broke his ankle and he'll be fine. This is way different.
What?
He had a head injury, and he broke his shoulder, snapped his ankle, and then broke his clavicle.
But what, he crashed into a wall, or what did he crash
Drove
into?
off a cliff.
What?
Yep.
See, your husband.
Well, he wasn't with the
Unconscious.
car. He was down the hill.
Oh,
Wait, he was out of the car?
This car story is so confusing to me. Thrown from the car, not thrown from the car. I don't get it. Was the car totaled?
He didn't come home, and you're like, where is he? So you went looking for him?
When he finally called me, I said, where have you been? So I was just assuming he was with some other woman.
I'm with Sutton. This seems a little fishy. I'm just not fully believing it. I want to believe in her innocence, but I just can't. And when all of this is over, if they come back and say that she's absolutely innocent, I will formally apologize on video, and I will formally send her a message on Instagram and Twitter apologizing, because right now I think that she's guilty of these alleged crimes. And the whole thing about Tom and all this suspected cheating, it's just odd. You know, a couple episodes ago, you didn't expect him of cheating, but now you expect him of cheating. It's possible that he was cheating. There has been stuff out there that says he was, but why lie about it a couple episodes ago? You could have just said it then. You had already filed for divorce when you guys talked about it. It's just something weird about this whole story.
During my editing, I realized that when she was explaining the car accident, she said that she found him. But then later, she said he called her. Then she says he came home. So how did you find him, then he called you, and then he came home, and you just thought that he was out with another woman? I call BS.
I did see in the previews where it looks like later in the season, these ladies are going to start to hear more about this case, and they're going to start hitting her with the hard questions. So I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen with that. Also, peeps, get down in the comments. I love reading you guys' comments. Get down in the comments and let me know what you thought of this episode. Today is Thursday, the 22nd. I am going to try to get this posted sometime tonight. I will try to get the Real Housewives of New York posted tomorrow. As I said at the very beginning of this video, I am not myself. I have no idea what is going on with me, but I have zero energy. And I'm just moving slow. We'll get through it. We'll get through it. I'm taking vitamins, so hopefully I'll get some kind of energy. Anyway, you guys, until next time, bye.